Hi everyone, this is Maggie from Journaling with Maggie. Thank you for stopping by to spend some time with me today. I really do appreciate it. Today we're going to be working on an interactive element I was inspired by Write Out Loud Studio, Write, W-R-I-T-E, Out Loud Studio. And her name, I believe, is Karen. So Karen, thank you for sharing and giving me this wonderful embellishment that I can use in my journal. And since my next project, my next journal is going to be a library journal, what better thing to use than a book page embellishment, although we know book pages are wonderful to work with in any journal. I love to make my pockets out of book pages, and I don't know that I've made a lot of tags out of book pages, but I do love them for pockets. Okay, so this is an interactive embellishment. It's made entirely with book pages. And it's made so that you just glue it in your junk journal like this, you know, both side gussets and then the bottom. And it goes down like this. The ties are attached to the gussets in this case, and then you can tie it so it stays closed. It seems to me that the longer this is set, it doesn't tend to pop open a lot. It's laying pretty flat, so you might not want to put a tie on it. That's another thing that's entirely up to you. So this piece has a base piece, the center piece. That's the base piece, and attached, and it does have gussets, side and bottom. And to the sides, there are two flip outs like this. Now each one has has pockets on the front, or pocket, or tuck spot, or however you wanted to make it, and a tuck spot on the inside. The other flap also has a pocket on the outside and a tuck spot on the inside. The main piece, I made two stack pockets, but she had 3 in hers, and you can do it really whatever you prefer to do. And these are different sizes. You can make the flaps the same size you want to, if you want to, or you can make them different sizes. I made mine different sizes because I just thought it added more interest. All right, now this is my prototype, and I did make what I feel is a very big mistake. I had the wrong spool of thread handy. I do like to use when I sew around things, use darker thread, but not only was this really dark, but it was also very thick. And it felt thick to me, but I kind of was anxious to do this, so I pulled out my little sewing machine, which is new to me. I'm not new to sewing machines, but this little sewing machine was, and I wasn't sure what the speed of it was going to be or the feeling of it or anything. So I should have played with that. I really should have played with that a little bit before I tried it on this. But I didn't, so the sewing came out very sloppy. And you know, it doesn't really matter if your sewing is sloppy when you sew these things, because it does add an interesting effect to it, and it also helps to stabilize these pieces because they are fragile paper. So I just thought it came out really sloppy. I wasn't happy with it, and the way the tie was put on, she did it so easily and made it look so nice, but to me it seemed real fiddly because the tie, and she used sari silk or something. She encased it in each one of the flaps, the gussets to the main piece. She encased it in there, which is exactly what I did here. And then when you glue it to your journal page, you can bring this around and tie it like this, and it will definitely stay down and closed. Okay. So that was my prototype. I wasn't particularly happy with the way it turned out, but I realized that it was my own error that made it look so sloppy. So I proceeded to do another one. Now this one I didn't sew, partially because it got late last night and I wanted to have it ready to do this video today. This is right now Thursday. You'll see this video tomorrow on Friday. So I did the same thing. I took my book page, I made my main piece. Don't worry about the measurements, just go by the size of your paper, and let your book pages guide you, and then of course the size of your journal page. So don't worry about the measurements, just kind of look at your pages and see what you can do, and I'll show you in just a minute what I mean by that. So I put the 2 pockets here, put the tuck spots on either side, pocket in front of each flap, and there you go. It's really I made this in about 15 minutes or so. So we're going to try to do one today. I know it's going to be a little slower because I am on camera, and that always is a little bit of a challenge. And you have now. The main change that I made to this was I decided that this was just kind of fiddly for me. It might not be for you, but it was for me to take and make this lay down flat. So I took a piece of this children's drawing paper, which I have fallen in love with and love to work with. I like to back tags and journal cards with it. It's not sturdy like cardstock, but it's sturdier than copy paper. And the creator that I learned about this from was Scrapbooking with Me, who I also really enjoy watching her videos. But Scrapbooking with Me, she uses this type of paper. So I cut a piece of paper and I just glued it down like I glued it to the paper like I was going to glue it to a journal page. But I had cut this paper right here, so it was just about the same size as the centerpiece. And that gave me then a piece that was all done, all put together. If you want to put a tie, I added mine on the back. I just glued it there with a piece of paper, and of course then this will glue down and it'll be held nicely in place. And then it gives a nice spot for your big journal, for your big ticket, which I did not do any embellishment on it. I didn't put a topper on it, which I would and will when I put it into my journal, or do any decoration to it, because I'm not sure what embellishments or what fussy cuts I'm going to have, and it'll kind of depend on the look that the journal takes when I start putting it together. So we are going to make one of these together. Hopefully it will be successful. Now if you decide you want to make one of these, you need to glue two pages of a book together, especially if it's older paper and a bit on the fragile side like this is. You need to glue them together and leave them set overnight or for a day, or what like do them in the morning and then put this together in the evening, whatever. And it just helps make them more sturdier and gives them more substance. Excuse me, I have to turn my phone off. I'm sorry. Gives them more substance. It makes it easier to work with. And she suggested doing 6 pages, 12 book pages and gluing them so you have 6 pieces to work with. And 6 pieces is about right. I accidentally pulled out extra ones, so I went ahead and glued them together, and I still have, it just needs a little bit of gluing. I still have an extra one, so we have plenty here to work with. So we're going to start I have some little tags. This is mostly all Tim Holtz stuff, and I have some stickers and other things on my right-hand side that we can use for decoration if there's time. Okay, so you start with your first book page. And these book pages, just so you know, as a point of reference, are 7.5 by about 5 inches. They're not too big, but in actual fact, they are the right size for a journal. And I don't have a journal page handy. Oh, this is one. I'm gonna fold this and show you. So you put it on your journal page just like this, and as you can see, it's just the perfect size, I think, in my humble opinion. Okay, so you start with this. Now the first thing you want to do, you're going to want to trim this down some. So I trim some off the top. Trimmed a little bit off the top. And some off the bottom. Again, I'm not measuring, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Not that I'm eyeballing it to come out any certain size, but I do want to cut off some of this white. Okay. I'm going to cut off just a little bit of the top. I'm going to go ahead and fold over, and because this is a very old book page, and even though there's 2 of them glued together, it still is not beyond cracking and breaking, believe me. So I'm kind of gentle with it. I don't just like take my bone folder or anything and give it a good rub down because it is so fragile. So that looks like it's about 1/2 inch. And it is. And so as you can see, I trimmed some off the top, some off the bottom, and then the gussets are folded so they have a little bit of border left, but not too much. Okay, then I'm going to do the same down here. Fold this up. And I'm going to miter my corners. Okay, so now we have our gussets for the main piece. And I am going to put a thumb hole there. I should have had this out already. Okay, put that aside, get rid of this. Okay, now next we're going to cut our pockets that go in here. And again, I'm going to go with just 2. So I'm going to cut this down. Now I do need to kind of measure to see how wide I want these pockets. So now I've got 4 inches here. 4 inches. So I'm going to make them just slightly under 4 inches because it's going to have something folding over it, and I don't want to cause a lot of bulk right there. So okay, Now I want this at just, I'm going to go like at 3 7/8. Okay. And I mostly just want the main body of the print on here. I'm cutting off the white space in the title. These are children's books. This is a children's book, so I don't feel that I have to worry about the words. I'm going to put these scraps over here because I think they might be fun to stamp on. For some reason that's not looking straight to me. It's not straight. Let's give it another little trim. Let's square it up. Let's not square this way either. There, that's better. I love this paper cutter. I just wish that they made one that was a little bit smaller or just a little bit bigger. But I'm very happy with this one. I use it all the time. Okay, so out of this piece, this is going to make pockets that fit right on here, and that's just a little shy. Okay, so I'm going to make my first one maybe, how far do I want it to come? You can kind of look at it and see where you want it to come. And when you're doing this, you know, you can use your lines of text to line things up and make them straight. So I think maybe I want to come to about here. I think I want to come to about here. Okay. So I'm just going to take my pencil, just draw a little line there. Straight. Okay, so this is going to be the big pocket, and then this one will come in right here. And I am going to go ahead and put my thumb holes in here before I put them in. I should have done it when I did this one. That's what I did on the other one, so they all lined up. Kind of drives me nuts when they're not all lined up, but all I can do is kind of eyeball it. I hope I get them. Okay. It is what it is, and it's just paper, and it's a junk journal. It's handmade. Okay, so now I'm going to ink these before I glue them down. I'm knocking over all my glue up here. And I watched an interesting video this morning from Kate at Ink Paper Art, and she was doing a video about inking and about how to tell when our ink pads are dry and need refreshing, and this vintage photo definitely is. It was just a very interesting video. And I did learn things from it that I didn't know. You know, I'm going to round these corners because I like the way that it looks. When I first started making journals, well, first year, I rounded all the corners. I rounded all the corners in my journal. Every corner got rounded. I stopped doing that, though, at the beginning of this year, because I realized that was kind of silly unless you just got to do that because it's a book. You know, typically books, journals don't have rounded edges, so that did save me a bit of time when I cut that little thing out. Okay. I want around these if it'll let me. Sometimes this corner rounder works so nicely, and other times it just will not cut at all. Now this is something you could mass make. If I wasn't talking to you, it would go a lot faster. Because it's a pretty straightforward little piece. So I'm just going to take my glue here, my wet glue. Excuse me for reaching, I'm sorry. So there's the first one. Hope everyone is having a good day. For you who work, the weekend is almost here. I am retired, so I don't have to worry about that. And what is so nice, I can just spend really as much time crafting as I feel like it. I'm not, I'm very blessed that way. And I appreciate all that my daughter and son-in-law do. It means the world to me. So I can take and just sit here as much and as long as I want to. Okay, so the base piece is made. When I was working, I have said that I'm a retired registered nurse. Okay, so now we're going to make these two flaps that go here. And again, I'm just going to cut this paper down. This is another thing. It doesn't require measurements, although I guess you just want to know that your side pieces are, there's not going to be a gap. Like one's not real skinny, or, you know, it looks nicer if they overlap at some point. So when I was a nurse, well, I still consider my nurse, although a nurse, although I let my license lapse, and I miss nursing very, very much, and my job was so wonderful taking care of preterm and gravely ill infants. It was just very rewarding because those babies are so fantastic. They're so strong and so special. But I worked a lot. I worked, especially the last 10 to 15 years, I worked in Northern California at Kaiser's. And I worked a lot of overtime. I worked extra days, extra hours, a lot of 16-hour shifts. So I didn't have time. I did find some time for knitting. I could do that when I relaxed, or I could even do that sometimes at work during a quiet time, you know, during a lunch break or something, but I didn't have time just to sit and knit or to sew whenever I want to, and craft and paper crafting was not really a part of my one of my skill sets at that time, or one that I paid much attention to. Okay, so this one, I'm gonna trim a little bit off of this. So I worked a lot of hours. And now that I'm not working anymore, I sometimes just don't know what to do with myself. Okay, so this is going to go on here like this. So see, all I did was just eyeball this, cut it down a little bit, and then folded this over to make my hinge. Now I know I need this one, I need it to open from this side, so let me round my corners. I don't think I'll round the outside, the inside corners, just the outside. So when I discovered the art of junk journaling, it opened up a whole new world for me. Something I really, really enjoyed. It was a challenge because I didn't know anything about it. I've said this before, but I did not know any of the terminology. I didn't know what a masterboard was. I didn't even know what a ephemera meant. I didn't even know what a signature was. Now, you know, how ignorant can you be? But I was. So I would look things up. I'd hear them. I'd hear I'd hear a creator say, you know, my signature, this or that, and I would try to figure out, well, what in the world are they talking about? Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to make a little pocket for the outside. And I'm going to cut off most of the white. Now, if you want to make one of these, and you want precise measurements, because I know on a lot of things we do, and I do as well, I want to know, well, how big did they make that, and so forth. If you leave a comment, I will be happy to put the measurements in, but it's so dependent on the size of your book page. We don't all have the same books. So it's to me, this is more about just the concept of it and the building it. Okay, so I'm going to cut a little pocket. I need it to be about right there. And how tall do I want it to be? Not too tall. I'm sorry, I'm talking to myself. Yes, I don't want this pocket to be too tall. I think I'm going to make about 2 inches. And I'm going to cut this off here where I hopefully measured it correctly. Okay. And this is going to go on the outside, and it's perfect. So around my corners. Thumb notch in. So my goal over the next several days and weeks, because it's a process, is learning to be able to communicate with you better and explain things like this more clearly. So if you'll just be patient with me, I would really appreciate it. I never made videos of any kind before I started this channel. And I never anticipated I would. I mean, I've thought about it in the past, but I never ever thought that I would actually do it. I'm just too introverted and to my own detriment. So I thought, no, I will never do that. Thank you very much. So here I am. I'm enjoying making the videos and I'm learning. I'm really learning and I'm trying to do better. So I hope if you enjoy my videos, you'll be patient with me as I fumble along on this process of learning. You know, you're never too old to learn something new. You just have to have the desire to do so. And if you have the desire, then you can do it. So I'm just making I made the outside pocket already, so I'm just making the inside tuck spot. And I'm not going to make this very deep. Maybe 1.5 inches. I can use this piece for sure. Again, if you're a praying person, continue to pray for my grandson, my great-grandson. He's in Georgia, I think. They live right on the border of Georgia and Alabama. He is still in the NICU. They were doing a test on him last night to see if it could be his heart that's causing him to have breathing difficulties. They did an ultrasound, and I haven't heard what the results of that are. And then my poor little granddaughter she went for a routine checkup, or maybe it wasn't routine, but she went for a checkup to her OB, and she was running a fever and was having a lot of abdominal pain. So they admitted her, and she has a uterine infection or infection behind her incision. So they put her on antibiotics. Her mom told me earlier this morning that she said she was feeling some better. So I'm very thankful for that. But if you could remember them in your prayers, I would be so, so appreciative. Okay, so now we've got the one side. Now, honestly, I could make, but I don't want to. I want to save that. I'm going to cut another one. To make my my other side flat. So if you're a praying person, please remember to say a prayer for my granddaughter and great-grandson. And my little granddaughter here, she just is thriving, just thriving. She was 5 weeks premature, but she was born at 7 pounds, 8 ounces, and just a thriving baby right from the get-go. She had to go to the NICU just to have her sugar checked because her mother is a diabetic, and there is always the chance that she could develop some complications because of that. So she went to the NICU for 45 minutes, and all they did was check her blood sugar and send her back to her parents. And we were all thrilled. Let me see how big I want this. So as you can see, I'm not really measuring a lot. I'm just trying to take a look at it and see how I want it to go, because you can make this any way you want to. There's no rules here at all. So it's a little bit shorter, and about the same width. I think I'm going to take a little bit off of it. And I love this girly so much. And it's so sweet because she can be fussing. But as soon as she stops fussing and she makes eye contact with me, her face just breaks into the biggest, sweetest grin. And I love it. It just makes everything worthwhile. Alrighty then. So this flap is going to go in here like this. And this is going to go in here like this. Or it could go vice versa. However, whatever suits your fancy. Whatever suits your fancy. Okay, so let's get a couple of little pocket cut right here. And you can put in kind of pockets you want to in here. You could put a belly band. But maybe I'll put a belly band on this side instead of a tuck spot. You can really do it whatever element you want to put to it, you can add to it and not be worried about whether it's right or it's wrong. And I think in this case, it was more my sharing an idea with you that I saw on her Karen's channel called Write Out Loud Studio, that I saw, and I thought I was intrigued by it because I thought the book page will fit perfect in a library page. But knowing how much I enjoy working with book pages, it would go with any journal. So I encourage you, if you decide to do this, to make it your own. Don't worry about the measurements. Just, we're just playing with paper. That's all we're doing. There's really no mistakes. There's no right or wrong way. We're just playing with paper and having a good time. When I'm done with this, I'm going to quickly share with you some of the pages for my library journal. I did share the scrapbook paper that I was going to use. It's Stamperia. And I love their papers. I truly do. Okay, so we have a little inking to do here. And my ink pad does need to be refreshed. I'll have to get me some of the I don't know even what it's called, re-inker. The little, it's bigger than this, but where is my hand? Oh my lord. It's bigger than this little bottle, but to re-ink your pad. I'm still a novice. I'm still learning, which is just fine and dandy by me. I like to learn new things. I've always been a person that liked to learn new things, and I always took on the challenges. When I was a young girl, probably about 10, right around that age, the local high school, where I later did go to high school there, you know, they had this swimming pool that was open to the public, you know, during the summertime, and us kids who were within walking distance would go swim there. And a friend that a little playmate that I had in the neighborhood, we wanted to go swimming at the high school. So, you know, we went. Now, neither one of us knew how to swim. And we always just went to a little kiddie pool, you know, even though we were 10 years old or so, 9 or 10, and played around in there and got, you know, kept cool and all of that, all the things you do in the summertime in the pool. And but neither one of us could swim, but I wanted to swim. And I thought, well, I can teach myself. And I really have always been kind of a self-taught person anyway. So I said, I can teach myself to do this. So I just started paddling around and becoming a little bit more confident. And then delving into the deeper into the pool, to where I felt pretty confident. I can do this. And then one day, they had one of those high diving platforms there, and of course you weren't supposed to go in there unless you could swim. And I really thought that I could swim. I mean, I was paddling around in the pool, and you know, I knew that once I went down, I would come back up. And as long as I came back up, I could paddle to the side. I mean, what difference does it make whether I was in the kiddie pool or this high diving platform? Oh, my mother, she would have spanked me till I was black and blue, because my mother did believe in corporal punishment, believe me. And I got spanked by my mother whenever she felt I needed it, even though I was really not a bad kid. But I did stuff like that, you know. So I walked up the ladder, got up on the high dive, waited my turn, and jumped into the water. I knew I would come to the top and I could get to the side. Well, lo and behold, it worked. I did. I made it to the side of the pool. I was happy as a lark. No harm done. And the lifeguard was none the wiser, really, because I did not struggle or scream or fuss or anything. So I made it to the side. I got out of the pool. And I was going to do it again. Well, my little friend, I remember her name was Marcella. And Marcella wanted to do it too. But she had not been practicing like I had been practicing. And she did not teach herself to swim like I taught myself to swim. Well, know-it-all me. So she wanted to do it as well. So I said, okay, well, come on. So we both went up there together, and I jumped in first, and then she jumped in after me, and she panicked. And she grabbed hold of me, and she was a chunky girl. She was quite a bit bigger than I was. And she panicked and just about drowned the both of us. And the lifeguard jumped in, pulled her out, made sure that we were both okay. Well, I was fine. You know, she had just panicked and pulled me under, but we didn't drown. We didn't drown. And did a little belly band. And so we spent the, you know, I think we went home pretty quickly after that because she was kind of shook up, poor girl. And went home, but I never told my mother. If I had told her, she would have been so upset because I could have drowned. But I obviously did not drown, and I really thought I had gained a new skill. In a way, I did. I gained some self-confidence, and I grew in the knowledge that I knew if I really wanted to do something, there was a way to do it. Okay, so now I'm talking about that and not talking about this. And I think I put my hinge on the wrong side of the paper. Oh no, we're right. Let's go glue these together. So I gained self-confidence in myself and the knowledge that if I wanted to do something bad enough, I could do it. It just takes some perseverance and some courage. And that is sort of kind of how I've lived my whole life. Not afraid to take on new challenges. I mean, not without total fear. I mean, not completely fearless. Always with a sense of how can I say? Always with a sense of trepidation and caution. Okay, so we're all done, basically. We're all done. Oh, it's been 47 minutes. I've been talking too much. So we have here our main page for this tag that I put in this one. Should fit in here. Yes, it does. I think this one might be a touch wider than the other one just because of the way I folded it. That's the only reason. Now I am going to take and do just like I did in the other one. And I'm going to cut this piece of paper down to, this is 5 3/4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3/4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3/4 by 4. Again, this piece of paper here is not cardstock, and you could use anything you want. You could use a piece of printer paper. You could use, what did I say? I'm not paying any attention to what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. You could use a piece of cardstock. You could use whatever you want because it's not going to show anyways. For me, it was just easier to do it like this. For me, it's not how Karen did it, but it's how I'm doing it. So I'm just going to glue my gussets down. I'm not going to have time to decorate this. I do want to share my papers with you. So I'm going to glue this down. Like I said, it doesn't matter really what kind of paper you use to do this. it's not going to matter because it's not going to be seen. It's just like gluing it down in your journal. Okay, so I'm going to put a journal tag right down here, just like this. A large journaling card, it doesn't matter. And you've got a text spot, a belly band, 2 pockets here, 1 pocket here, and 1 pocket here. And you can stack your pocket. You can put 2 pockets on the front. Again, this is something that you can do anything with it you want to do. And I think I started with 9 sheets from double-sided book pages, from using 2 book pages, and I used about 6 of them. So if I so desire, if I want to, I will probably put this in my journal, in my library journal. I would go ahead and put a little tie on the back, like I did this one. Just put whatever I want to close it with and glue it down there, and then this whole thing glues right to your journal page, just like that. Well, I hope I didn't bungle this up too much. I don't have, my pay grade doesn't go as high as doing tutorials. And since I just wanted to show you the concept of this and not the measurements, because like I said, they're going to depend on the size of your book page and your journal page or wherever you want to put it. Measurements weren't really important. I hope you got I hope I was able to show you the concept. And again, the creator, if you want to go to her channel, is Write Out Loud Studio. So I want to thank her again. This will definitely go in my library journal. Now I just want to quickly show you, I showed you the scrapbook paper that I was going to use. I also got this pad of paper on sale from Michael's, and it's called a Book Club. Apparently it was a special edition, and I did get it on sale. And there's a lot of pages in here that are kind of would be geared for a book club, but there are also a lot of pages like just this. Oh my gosh, the script page. I'd have to put my glasses on to read it, but we've got some bookmarks. Here's a page with all different sorts of titles: science fiction, mystery, memoir, folklore. This will be fun to make some embellishments out of. Paper with just tags. Isn't this pretty? Now this is not real heavy cardstock. But I'm trying to find the weight on here. I don't see it. It's nice cardstock. Now they have some pages I couldn't use in here. This is very pretty, but it's book club. Books are pure magic. Book club cards. Here's some just people reading in different stages. More books. I'm not showing you every page. I'm just more script. Now this is Read All Night Club. I guess this could go with the library. When I was a young person, a child, I loved the library. Books are pure magic. I loved the library, and I spent a lot of time at the library. I did a lot of my homework and studying. If I had to write a paper, of course I was at the library. And so I love the library. And the fact that my oldest daughter became a librarian, and that's kind of her passion and love, I think it's so wonderful. Okay, so these are some of the pages I'm going to use. Now this particular page came from a kit. I think it's this one, Vintage Library Junk Journal Kit by Journal Print Kit. I got my glasses on, I'm sorry. Journal Print Kit. $1.93. Now I'm not using all the pages out there. They're beautiful, but I'm not going to use them all. Maybe 2 or 3. So this is one page. These are not in any order. This is the same creator, but just different looks. The old library. Okay, then these pages are from Vintage Library Junk Journal Pack, Books, Embellishments, Scrapbook Junk Journal Pages. And this is by Lullabelle Stationery. I'm sure you probably cannot see that. BYLULLBEL Stationery. Okay. So these pages are from there. I think this is going to make a very interesting journal. Keep this book clean, do not turn down the leaves. I remember seeing that in library books. Page of an old library. Books. Just a collage of things. I really like it. As I went through the ones that I have, I was kind of picking and choosing. I tend to print out too many pages and then I end up with more than I need and, waste paper. Now I will back these. I like to back my journal pages with something with probably tea or coffee dyed and lined, or even something like this would be nice to back them with, because there's still plenty of room for journaling on here. So maybe I'll back them with something like that. Okay, so these are the base pages for my journal that I'll be working on. I'll probably be starting on that maybe Tuesday of next week. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Be blessed, enjoy your craft, enjoy your family, and come back and see me the next time. Please like and subscribe. Bye-bye.